Continuing to think about that highlight reel I watched, though, they were re-showing minutes and moments of Stipe versus Ngannou 1, which, by the way, had its moments that were very problematic for Stipe. It showed a number of Stipe's takedowns, right? But he had to work harder for those takedowns than I remember. Francis was keeping his balance, and this is all very relevant because there is one difference as these guys go into the fight, which is Stipe's weight. Stipe now weighs 10 pounds less. Just to everybody's surprise, but when Stipe shows up to fight Cormier the second time, Stipe's weighing 230. Shows up to fight him the third time, he's weighing 231. He was 241 when he fought Francis.
I'm gonna go with Stipe. I think Francis has gotten a lot better. But I also think that Stipe has gotten a lot better too. He seems like he's happier. Stipe was in a really weird spot with the UFC back in those days. You know, felt slighted. He wasn't getting any respect, and I think coming off of that really big performance and a win over someone, a future Hall of Famer in Daniel Cormier, I think that his confidence is as high as ever. And as long as Stipe can avoid that big shot, I think he gets it done again and pretty close to the same exact way. I think that he just grinds him out, makes him tired, and because we don't even really know if Francis has fixed his takedown defense. Like, who's tried or who's even made it close to an attempt? Like Curtis Blades, but Curtis Blades didn't really shoot. It was more panic shooting after getting clipped. So we don't even know if he's fixed his takedown defense at all because we haven't seen it.
I mean, this is a tough one to call. I mean, Francis gave Stipe about all he could handle that first fight. But I mean, for Stipe Miocic to beat Daniel Cormier twice, that speaks for itself. And it's hard for me to think that I think so highly of Daniel Cormier that if you can beat him twice, you are the man. And I just think that Stipe kind of knows what to expect from Francis. What can Francis change in his game that Stipe already faced against him? I mean, maybe improve his gas tank, but I mean, he's still going to come out with he's going to have the same firepower. He's going to want to throw big strikes. The only way you could really throw Stipe off his game is if you maybe tried to wrestle him or do something. I think Stipe will know how to handle that fight. And I think by the time that they get around to having that fight, it's going to be back at a 30-foot octagon, and I think that'll benefit him a lot. But like I said, Daniel Cormier is the best fighter of all time. And if you can beat him twice, you're the man. So I got to go with Stipe in this one.
It was concerning when Stipe was lighter for the Daniel fights, but then Stipe went out and got this wonderful result. So we all go, I guess the guy that was lean to start with can take off 10 pounds, even if it presumably is muscle, and still get a good result. But that is different because Stipe wasn't married to the idea and locked into the strategy of having to take Daniel off his feet. It's completely different that Stipe is 10 pounds lighter against Francis when Stipe is resigned to the idea that he must, not wants to, must take Francis off of his feet. Those extra 10 pounds, Francis is the one that's going to feel them, not Stipe. Francis is going to feel when Stipe's in on. Guy's a little smaller than I remember. Guy's not squeezing me as tight as I remember. And don't forget, on a takedown, even if you're not a wrestling aficionado, you didn't wrestle yourself, this will make sense to you. It's about balance. That's all the whole thing's about. You get it on a guy's leg, that doesn't take him down. You drive. You knock into him while holding the knee or controlling the hip. The balance. He loses balance, he falls down. It's balance that takes a person down. Don't ever forget that.
The thing about Stipe is he's got better cardio than any other heavyweight active right now, in my opinion. If anybody can get it done, it's Stipe. That's a 50-50 to me. I really like that fight. That's 50-50.
I'm going to go with Stipe. I think Stipe gets out that win. Whether it's a late fight, finish, or he, just goes to the full 5 rounds again and decision. So, it's exciting to have all the new blood in there. The heavyweight division for a lot of years has been like stagnant with Stipe, but Stipe is a true champion. He's one of the greatest. Francis fight, I'm really excited to see that. I want to see if Francis has been able to improve his wrestling defense and his cardio. In my opinion, he has. It's definitely going to be a different fight, but we'll see how that goes.
if you don't have the same weight or the same mass, you don't have the same leverage points for the balance. I only bring that to you. This is a very quick highlight reel. But I had not seen that fight since the night that it happened. And I did not remember it in the way that the highlight reel showed it, which I realized it's a highlight reel. You're taking special points. However, you're still breaking down those points. They showed 4 of Stipe's 5 takedowns. And he had to work a little harder.
With Stipe Miocic, who in my opinion is the best heavyweight ever. I think if you look at what Stipe has managed to do in his career, he's defended the title more than anybody. He knocked out Fabricio Verdun, was one of the best ever. He knocked out Alistair Overeem. He beat Francis Ngannou, who everybody was fucking terrified of, and Francis has been blowing everybody out of the water, including Alistair Overeem. I just think, and knocked out Junior Dos Santos, also former heavyweight champion. I think Stipe is the best of all time. So when Stipe is able to beat you by using his wrestling and using his smarts and using his octagon intelligence and just his overall fight IQ. He just knows how to fight better. He's just got more tools in the toolbox.
Seems to be a big talk going into this fight that Stipe's chin is suspect. I don't totally know where that comes from, but if you did follow his career and the one way to beat him for the very few guys that have beaten him, okay, fair enough. And also the narrative that Francis only has to hit him 1 time. I was watching those highlights and going, man, Francis just on this highlight reel hit him 3 clean, including that uppercut and including that hook that he's so well known for. Stipe took him. I will submit for you those 10 pounds helps you to absorb and take them.
You know, it's crazy because Stipe is the underdog, and he's a bigger underdog than what he was in the first fight, which is just wild. But I get it. I do get it because Ngannou's getting better. He just seems to be able to touch somebody and they fall asleep. You know, I mean, the guy has got just insane freaky power, and he's getting better all the time. You know, initially when he came to the UFC, he was just a big, massive, muscular guy with big, he would just swing. But now he's getting more technical. He's getting very good. And, obviously the first fight, he knows what he did wrong, but can he get good enough at stopping takedowns and controlling his gas tank and going 5 rounds to beat Stipe Miocic? I don't know if he can. And it's very disrespectful to Stipe. If you look at this guy, the people that he's beaten, it's disrespectful that he's the underdog. But again, when you see Ngannou just destroying people the way that he does, you get it, you understand it, but I mean, again, they're 2 big guys that I don't really want on the wrong side of me.